rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it.
I don't know what the hell just happened there. What the fuck? Damn it, what's going on? Happy Trapsgiving, everybody. What's going on, man? Hold on. I thought I had time. The fucking intro just cut off early. That was weird. All right, you're tapped into the coolest reptile podcast in the entire world, man. What is going on? It's your boy MJ up in the building, man. If this is your first time tuned into this podcast, please do me a favor if you don't mind. Hit the subscription button, man. Hit that notification bell. That way you're on top of every single podcast that I drop on Thursday nights. You're on top of the Trap Clip Tuesdays. You're not missing any beats by hitting that notification bell, and it's free. Hit that notification bell. Drop a comment, man. Speaking of comments, what up with all my early birds up in the building? Yo, there is so many freaking comments up in here, man. I don't really know. I mean, damn, I don't even know where to start, man. I mean, I hate to pull a checking in podcast, but if you guys really want me to get your comment displayed, hit that super chat, man. Super chat comments will be displayed for sure. And if you have any questions for tonight's guest, super chat that shit, and I can for sure see it. Other than that, man, appreciate everybody who's tuned in tonight. This is going to be a really, really amazing show. A little something I want to give to you guys. I was thinking, man, what can I do for my audience? What can I do for my people who love the shit that I've been doing and bringing the guests I've been bringing on? I'm like, I know. I'll bring on some of the biggest players that I had on earlier this year who I feel like I want to bring on some more. I think we had Ozzy for round 2. I could do round and round with Ozzy. We'd love to have Justin on, and then we have our special guest up in the building. So, anyways, guys, before we get started, man, I'm all excited and shit. You guys know what the deal is. Shout out to the sponsor, Cold Blooded Cafe, www.coldbloodedcafe.com. Freshest and the best is delivered to your doorstep. I'm talking about the day one pinks all the way to the mammoth rats. I'm not going to say whale sharks yet. You got eggs, man. Don't be a nerd. Put them in the damn sim container. www.simcontainers.com, man. That's a secure way to go when it comes to hatching your eggs. Not that there's anything wrong being a nerd. I should have used a different word. Shout out to my nerds out there. And then I just want to say, shout out to Focus 3 Habitats, man. I'm telling you right now, these guys are onto something. Make sure you go check out their page. They have probably the sickest arboreal and other type of, species of style of habitats that they're building right now. They look sleek. They look awesome. I'm dead ass serious, man. I got something coming from them here in a couple weeks. I'm excited to kind of display that to you guys and show you what I'm going to put in it. But yeah, man, Focus 3 Habitats. Check them out. And then, of course, man, I just want to say something, man. If you, on all levels, okay, I don't care where you're at in your breeding game, beginning, fucking novice, expert, everybody wants to think about investing and upping their shit. If you're in that time frame and you're like, I'm ready to fucking, you know what I mean? I want to invest in some shit. I want to go top shelf. I want to get something that I know I'm not going to miss out on. You need to go check out my boy Ozzy Boyd, bro. I'm telling you, Ozzy Boyd LLC, the Orange Dream God, bro. And he's here tonight with us. My boy Ozzy's here tonight with us. He's right here in the fucking flesh. What's up, Ozzy?
What up? What up?
How you doing, bro?
What's going on?
I just want to say that. I'm glad you're on the show, so I could, I know I always text you and I hit you up on how much I appreciate that you're part of the, your sponsorship, but more importantly, like you're just family, man. You're part of my podcast and what I have going on. But I do want to publicly live say how awesome it is, how much an honor it is that I get to floss this on my intro every fucking podcast. It's sick as fuck. What am I gonna do, bro? You know what I mean? And like I said, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here. Happy holidays. Ozzy Boyds in the flesh. What's up, Ozzy? What's cracking? How you living, bro?
I'm doing it, man. I'm just here staying busy, you know.
Always
maintain my sanity in 2020 like everybody else.
Right.
But, thanks for having me on. You know, always a pleasure. I enjoy the show, enjoy the podcast. So, you know, my pleasure being here, bro.
So, I mean, I think last time we spoke, I think it was June with you and Will, right? We had the round 2, right?
Yeah. That was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Will's my dude, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that Will is your dude. I'm telling you right now. I mean, I really feel like, you know, like, I don't know, Ozzy, you just don't be going around calling dudes your dudes. I know how you are. You know what I mean? You're just, you know, if you say something, and I remember you said that on our first episode, you know, on how, you know, you literally buy shit from this dude, you know what I mean? And it's just like, it's inspiring because, you know, I got to know Will's story more because of that. And then I found out he was in the game since 2010 and all this other stuff. So you basically put Will on for me in a way. Because of that, I looked more into Will, and it was an honor having you guys on for the round 2, bro. Shit was sick.
No doubt. Yeah.
So with the round 3 though, how do you feel about this round 3? I got not only another person, but a third person, and you're homies with all these people. So how are you feeling about tonight?
Yeah, love these guys, man. I mean, we go back 20 years, nothing but respect and love for these guys. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have fun tonight.
Yeah, man, totally. I know all my everyone in the building, man. Comments have been blowing up, bro. I mean, I
can't keep up.
This is the first time I can't keep up, man. You know, I'm just, you know, I just like, damn, I'm about to go in there and say what up to some peeps right now. But honestly, there's a lot of people in here. Everyone's excited to see you, and you know, obviously see the homie here, which you're familiar with, the homie JKR. Hi, Justin. He's in hotel Wi-Fi right now. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm trying to reconnect you. Going around here. You guys see me?
We'll give you that's
better.
Yes. Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you. Justin Cabelka in the building from what hotel?
I don't even know what it's called. I'm here in Branson, Missouri. I got this whiteboard behind me with all kinds of timeshare sales tactics behind me. So apparently they've been busy here.
That's I mean, Ozzy. I mean, is it kind of weird he doesn't know what kind of hotel he's staying in? Because let's see, there's like there's the Hilton, there's the DoubleTree, there's like so many hotels, and you don't even know what. I mean, are you sure you good? Did somebody kidnap you, or like are you like wink twice if you need me to call?
I literally flew in late last night, and everybody was already here, and I like opened the door and went in, fell asleep. I don't even know where I'm at.
That's grinding, bro. Damn, that's grinding. Respect. You just put your head in straight to the bed, straight to the sack. That's what's up. So Justin,
everybody's in here.
So Justin, I mean, did you know that Justin was a comedian at all, Ozzy? Did you know that?
Nah.
When did that come into play, Justin? Because I was super thrown back by that, and I mad
Is
props.
That true? Or you just messing around?
No, dude, he's he goes to fucking open mic. He handles.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yep.
That's interesting, man.
He needs a okay. We need
so just once. So
wait.
So what happened is about 2 weeks ago. Go
okay.
ahead. Can you hear me okay, or do you reset something?
I don't. Okay, hold on. The reason why I don't know if there's a bad lag, because like I'm speaking and then you're just there's some. I don't know if there's a bad lag. So if that's the case, all you need to do is exit out of here and go to the email and just click the link again, and you'll be like better. You'll be in better shape.
Start over.
Yep.
I'm gonna do that now.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. As easy as this platform is, Ozzy, fucking the internet's the internet. You really can't really beat that, especially when you're in a hotel and shit. So we'll get
that shit is sketchy.
Yeah, we'll get Homeboy back on right now in a second. But yeah, dude, I thought you had seen that video clip of him at the open mic at the comedian.
Nah, so I don't do YouTube a whole lot, you know.
I think I saw it on Instagram. I can't. Okay, so now Justin's back. How you doing, Justin? Can you hear us?
Oh, no, it was
Good.
on
Hopefully
Instagram. I didn't see that. I missed it.
Okay, so let's go back. So Justin, 2 weeks ago, go ahead.
So my buddies come to me in the afternoon. They say, "Hey, we're going to this comedy club. They have an open mic night. Do you want to go? Do you want to go and do it?" And I was like, "Hell, sure, yeah, let's do it." And so we drove up there and literally just signed up and went up. And it was my first trial by fire. But I always love telling jokes just to people. If you know me very well, you know that I like to joke around a lot. It doesn't come across in YouTube or anything really, because I don't know, it's very spontaneous. But anyhow, I had a fantastic time. I loved it. And it turned out, pretty decent, compared for a first time. So I'm gonna do it again in 3 weeks. Of course, it's not a career or anything, but just for fun. I enjoyed it a lot.
Dude,
have you watched that show on Netflix with Seinfeld? It's like
Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. I love that show.
Yeah, that's a great show.
It's so relaxing.
Yeah, that's a funny show.
That was, I mean, to be honest, Justin, I was like, what? This fool's he's gonna jump on stage and he's gonna tell jokes, because like I just, I can almost read how, like, if people are like funny or like they have, and I just never saw you as somebody who would actually have the balls to go up, because that takes a lot of balls, bro. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't care where you're doing it at. Open mic, that stuff's like, it's ballsy. But like, dude, you were good. Like, Like, I was like impressed. I was like, it seemed like you had like rehearsed it, or I don't know, but it seemed like you have done that before, that act before. Like, it was fun.
No, I didn't even know what I was going to say until I switched up what I was going to say about 10 minutes before I went up, and I didn't rehearse it once. But I'm pretty natural when it comes to just something I think is funny, or like telling a story or something. It just like flows out of me pretty easily. So it was no big deal.
Well, I hope you go more. I hope you go to more of those, and I hope you let us like see, clips of it and stuff, because that shit's it's funny, dude. I'm not gonna lie. And like, I would have found way more other things to give you props about if I really didn't think that was funny. So I'm just letting you know that was,
I appreciate that.
That was fun. No fake reach around there. That's legit.
Hey, Justin, you remember Gravy?
Gravy? No.
Yeah, Gravy's in the comments.
Who's Gravy?
From RDR?
Oh, yeah.
Ralph Davis?
Yeah.
All right, I need to know.
Yes.
Put me on game. Who's Gravy? Who's Gravy now?
Works for Ralph Davis. Used to be on the forums, RDR, back in the day.
Oh shit! So this goes way
really
back.
Old school. Yeah.
He still works. He still works with Ralph.
Yeah. Well, listen, Ralph's waiting. I know he's building something, or he had just got done getting settled in something, but he's definitely on the roster to come on the show. I've already been talking to him about it, so I can't wait. So Ralph,
man, I miss Ralph, man.
You gave me his email. I got his email from you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I didn't have. This is before I knew, like, actually there's a lot of people you can't really get a hold of actually have Facebook, and I didn't know Ralph Davis actually still had a Facebook, but he did have a Facebook. And that's when
he's been fishing, or
he's low key.
Yeah, he's low key now. Unlike in the past, I mean, he was very entertaining.
Right. I heard. That's what I heard. What about you, Justin? Like, you go just as far back as Ozzy does with the breeding, right? Or where you at compared to how far Ozzy goes back when it comes to getting into the game?
It's delayed. He's delayed.
His eyebrows are just moving. He's just like,
I don't think he's hearing you.
I don't know if he can hear me.
I'll answer that question. We started around the same time.
Around the same time? Okay.
Yeah. It's very, very close to the same time.
I'm gonna tell Justin just to log out. If you can't hear me, Justin, log out and in again.
Pretty fine.
Can he dial in on his phone?
Oh, he can't. So he could hear us. I don't think he knew I was talking to him.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, Justin can hear us. All right, cool. Wait, what the fuck did I ask? Now I'm confused. Oh yeah, okay. So I can't remember, Justin. When did you start? When was your first year, like, officially as a professional ball python breeder, or just a ball python breeder as a brand? Like, how far back does that go again? Just to remind myself. You just can't speak. Write everything.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Oh, but
His
he
feed
can't.
is out.
Oh, but he can hear anything.
Right down here.
Hey, if
I'll
you can,
restart.
okay, do this, Justin. Log out and log back in. Yeah, or restart. Yeah, there we go. Now I feel like he's just fucking with us.
2003.
All right. Yeah.
2003. And you were what? You were what, Oz?
I got back into the ball pythons. It was 2000. But I started Ozzy Boyds officially was 2003 as a company, you know.
Okay,
But,
so it's exactly what you same time as fucking Justin.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I remember Justin, like we knew each other way back then, and we did deals. We did some trades. I think I traded him an Orange Dream.
What?
Very early on. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit more about these trades. Like, what was it that Justin had that back then that you're like, all right, I need that, and then I want to know, Justin, what was it other than Dream? If there's anything,
I don't remember what it was, but I think he reached out to me for an Orange Dream, and I just I felt it would be smart to get one in his hand, you know. I mean, we were like newbie back then. I mean, we were like nobody knew us. But I did see I would see Justin like at Daytona or whatever, and I had a positive feeling about him and what he was doing. So like I said, I wanted to get the animals into certain breeders' hands because I knew they would do good things with it. So
right. What about you, Justin? What can you remember back in the day, like when you and
Before I
Ozzy?
get too far in, feel free to kick me if it's so bad off that it's hurting the show. But I remember sending Ozzy a leopard doublehead DG pie. That's one of the specific animals I remember sending you. I don't think it was part of that trade though.
No.
I think it was pretty early, relatively early on.
Yeah, that was I think that was 2012 or something. My Desert Ghost Pie project originated from that male.
I thought maybe it did. That's awesome.
Yeah, he wasn't when I contacted you about him, you told me he wasn't a good feeder. And I was like, send him over, let me see what I could do. And I remember I had the warehouse back then, and I had gerbils breeding, and I was feeding him gerbils. He wouldn't eat anything, man. He wouldn't eat rats. Hey. But I had a colony of gerbils going, and he would eat gerbils. So, eventually I bred him.
That's great.
I'm still using the male that I made with him, which turned out to be an Orange Dream. He was an Orange Dream Leopard Desert Ghost Posset Pie. And at the time I had him labeled as a Desert Ghost Leopard. I didn't know he was Orange Dream, and he was Posset Pied. He proved out to be Het Pied, and he also proved out to be Orange Dream. I'm still using him now. So
killer.
Yeah, I remember that male.
Now, I mean, I always talk about like the reward is so priceless in a hobby like this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, like with hard work, you can actually make an income off of it. Let's don't lie about that. Like, that's straight up. Things go right, you do right, your brand's right, you could actually make good money off of it. But other than that, the huge reward has to be the feeling where, for instance, you saw that Orange Dream prove out with Justin. Like, how did that feel, bro, when you saw that?
The Orange Dream, the Desert Ghost Leopard,
right? When
I was on cloud 9 with that, man, because it just increased the genetic potential of that animal pretty significantly, and I think I produced supers with him. So yeah, again, there's a lot of ups and downs with it, but if you have patience and you stick it out, it can be very rewarding, both financially and also
spiritually.
Yeah. From an enjoyment standpoint. So
I don't even want to get corny, but you just feel good. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, it kind of keeps the kid in you. I don't know. I guess that's the best way you could look at it.
That does.
Yeah, it's for me, it's something that I enjoy immensely. So
for real.
I love being in the snake room, just working with the animals. I mean, I don't know where I would be without that. And especially like 2020, you know, everybody's quarantining. We're on lockdown. Can't travel like we used to. And I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, bro,
like
we're
I got
tuned
my
in.
snakes. Like I'm good.
Because of the snake, we're tuned into the coolest reptile podcast in the entire world right now. Like, you know, can you believe that?
Yeah.
Can you believe that? All because of snakes. All because of the animals, bro.
That's right.
And, you know, and what's awesome is I've actually, okay, I'm going to talk about an embarrassing story. Okay, I'm gonna own up to something that I didn't own up when I had Ozzy on before, and I kind of did this with Justin, but we talked about this. So Justin, remember that one time when I was trying to record something for my YouTube at that time, and I talked for like 10 minutes and nothing was recording. Remember we spoke about that, right? Embarrassing. I talked about that, but with Ozzy, I do want to say, okay, because it's been a long time since I've been in something where I get like almost like, I don't want to say starstruck, but I have like loss of words. I don't really know what to say to the person, right? And I remember Pomona when Ozzy was there, and I was walking, and yeah, I was super high. We just got done smoking a fat ass joint. I don't know who I was super high, and everyone was like ahead of me, and I was behind, and I see Ozzy standing there looking at this Cadillac in front of the hotel. Like he's just looking at it like, man, that's a sick car. And I stop and I look at the car with him, and I go, fuck, this is Ozzy Boyd's. So I'm gonna tell you, I knew right then and there who you were. I didn't know how to conversate with you at that time. And honestly, bro, like you're a face behind the scenes too. So like
Justin was at that show.
That was the same show. That was the same show I did. Yeah, I fumbled.
Yeah, I remember that show, and everywhere I went, I smelled weed, like everywhere.
I wasn't the only one. You're in Cali, bro. Everyone's smoking.
I probably smelled your weed.
Yeah. Oh, you definitely.
We were messaging, but I never met you before, so I you know, if you were standing next to me, I wouldn't even know.
No, but that's okay. That's what makes it even more embarrassing is that me and this dude we had our numbers. We were texting back and forth. So like he was already expecting to see me. I was expecting to see him. I was so lit and I just wasn't ready for it. I just wasn't ready to meet Ozzy Boyd. I was like, damn, I was like, you're lit. I was like, what are you gonna say to him? You're not ready to talk to this guy. That's what I told myself. And I was pretty confident I was gonna see him, obviously. I thought he was gonna be, you know, at that time I was going to the auctions, and I thought that was something that everybody went to. So I was just expecting to see you there. You weren't there, and that's when I was like, dude,
I rarely go to the auctions anymore. You know, yeah, I was hanging out. We were like in LA, or you know, we were out partying, doing something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to go out when these shows kind of equals to, like, you know, especially depending on the crew you're hanging out with, but you're going to party that night. You know what I mean? Like Friday, Saturday, those are going to be long nights.
That's the only time I really party is when I go to snake shows.
You know,
or if I'm traveling and I run into some, you know, if I'm in another country and I look up some snake breeders or whatever, sometimes they'll take me out. So, you know, that's my chance. That's my chance to hang out. Feel young again.
If you want to feel young, not to make this the next homie I'm bringing in feel old anyway, but if you do want to feel young, this dude's been raging it with the hobbyist for, like, you know, a good few years before you, man. And I'm pretty sure you know this guy. I don't know, he's a homie of mine. I'm not too sure if Justin knows him. I know Justin.
Hey guys, what's going on, guys?
Brian Bartek, everyone. It's Brian Bartek. If you didn't guess the thumbnail, it's fucking Brian Bartek holding a sick ass snapping turtle. Whoever guessed that.
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Hey Brian, what's up, man?
Happy holidays.
Yeah, good to see you guys too, man. It's awesome to be involved in this with these legends over here, man. Look at these guys, man. Holy crap, man. It's awesome.
There's one legend here.
MJ. He's the legend.
Right.
Let me just say on behalf of everyone else.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy. We're not.
You guys are
Oh my God.
you guys are the legends, bro. This is fucking like this is the most dreamiest fucking session I could ever think about, and I made it happen. Brian, thank you for being here, man. Like this means a lot.
My pleasure. I'll be honest with you, man. I think I texted you. I had I don't have many like shit days, but today was one of them, man. I was just, I mean, gosh, it was just crazy. Just like I was working on this turtle enclosure, and everything you could possibly think could go wrong went wrong. So it was a nightmare of a day. So I'm glad I can be here and just hang out with you guys.
No doubt. How's Lori, man? How's the family?
She's good. As a matter of fact, MJ, she's threatened to come on with me, and she's had a couple glasses of wine today because we do our podcast on Wednesday. So she's like, I'm going on. Tell MJ I'm coming on. She was gonna raise some hell with you, man.
Tell her to come on, dude. Why are you on such a small couch? Make room for her.
I know, right? I know. I'm stuck away, to be honest with you. What it is, here she comes.
Yes, Lori. Oh, this is not even epic. Yes. All right.
What's up, Lori?
Fuck yeah, Lori.
Hey, I heard you want to be on the podcast.
I do. I wanted you. I wanted all your dogs. I want fucking. We should be in the sauna.
Oh, you got
she said she can't hear because I got earphones on.
Oh,
Wait.
The first time I saw BHB at a reptile show, it was Lori. You weren't there, Brian.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, really?
It was Hamburg.
Yes,
I
remember.
A couple of sticks with Lori. That was like 20 years ago or something.
Isn't it
Well,
crazy?
it wasn't that long. It wasn't that long. It was like 5 years.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Trust me, Lori hasn't been to reptile in the last 5 years. I guarantee you that. But
Lori,
I remember that. I remember. I was like, she's crazy cool. Lori, nice lady. And then I found out.
It's nice to see you. I miss you.
Yeah, miss you guys too. And
I know. Remember us at Ian's wedding.
Yes, that was the best.
Remember martinis? Yep.
Neil was there. Big guns.
Oh yeah.
Oh, big guns, man. Absolutely. Good time.
He's still crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I bet that crazy never changes.
No, that's absolutely true. But no, it's just
Good seeing you guys though.
Yeah. So Laura, you want to go back to playing games or what?
Oh, are you kicking me off?
Yeah, can I kick her off?
Wait, hold on. I want to talk to Lori real quick. I want to
talk to Lori.
What were you? What was the choice of drink earlier? Were you drinking wine or what were you drinking?
Yeah, I was drinking wine. Of course, I was drinking wine.
He already switched on you.
That's my go-to. Yes.
Lori, I just want to say, hey, me and my wife had an amazing time with you guys in Vegas, and she can't stop asking to hang out with you again soon. So we'll be coming to Michigan.
You know what? That's awesome because you guys are great. I loved it. I thought we had a great time too as well, and literally Jade and Michael are here too, and we were just talking about you guys and how awesome you were. So
we were trying to figure out like what kind of magic you put on her to get her because you're stepping up a little bit over there, guys.
I'm not even ugly. I don't understand that.
We're not saying you're ugly, but she's still like a few steps up.
Few steps like
for sure.
Well,
that's what happens when you're the boss, and I was her boss for like a year. So I was
okay.
There's this thing that's called the Me Too movement now. You might want to look
Yeah. Be careful.
Exactly.
All right, Lori, you're awesome, dude. I think you're amazing. We can't wait to see you again soon.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, sometimes you might have to have me on one time. Just me.
No, I'm down. No, seriously. No. Hey, Lori, wait, real quick. Publicly, can you agree to come on my show before anyone else, before any other reptile podcast? Will you come on my show, please?
Absolutely. If I was going to do one, you'd be my first choice. So
yes.
Yeah. I could barely get her to come on mine.
Yeah. No, I do you before Brian. That's fine.
Right.
Oh boy.
I love you, Lori. Wow, amazing. That was amazing stuff. And that's cool that you go back with her wife, his wife's Ozzy, and like that. You remember that shit.
Dude, I remember being broke, standing at Brian's table, just drooling on his displays.
Yeah, now I drool on your two's Instagram accounts. I mean, holy shit, man! You guys like smoke me every time. I mean, I will say, honest to God, I mean, there's just a few Instagram accounts that, like, I mean, there's a lot of great Instagram stuff out there, but your twos in particular are the only, I shouldn't say only two because there are some others, but your guys definitely make me want to get back into the game a bit. You know what I mean? Like, I see the stuff you're producing and it smokes me. I'm not getting back into the game, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm not doing it. But I have fun with the ball pythons we do.
Yeah.
We still produce some really cool ball pythons, but your guy, man, I see some of this stuff and I'm just like, holy. I mean, could you imagine? You know, Justin, we go back a long way too. I mean, could you imagine 20 years ago producing what you guys are producing now?
Man,
I can't imagine what we're producing in 20 more years. Honestly,
I know
it's wild.
Hey, Brian,
Wild.
can you believe how strong the industry still is? Like,
well, it is interesting, and you know, I'm a little surprised by it, to be honest with you. I thought we were kind of, you know, because it kind of started to peter maybe 5 years ago a little bit, like it kind of dipped, and I thought that we might be seeing the end, but I think that and this is just my humble opinion. Now, I don't want to say I'm an outsider because I mean I'm certainly still you know involved, but like I get a different perspective now that you guys probably have all the time. And I think what happened is that the leadership really changed a lot. You know what I mean? Like, you know, guys like you and obviously, you know, Justin set a bar that is probably almost impossible to reach. But a lot of people really did a good job of bringing like a more positive mentality. You know, I mean, there for a while, you guys got to admit, you know, it was so catty.
there was
you
a
know what I
lot
mean?
of
Like,
drama. Yeah,
a lot of drama, and I think it drove a lot of people away. You know, I think people, you know, I know when I was, again, the last few years I was producing high-end ball pythons, I had guys that would spend, you know, $150,000, and literally the year later they'd be like, I don't want to be involved in this business. I want out. You know, I don't want to be involved with these people. And I'm not saying that it's completely gone these days, but it's, you guys have done a good job of keeping it together. And I think that it's good that not only have you guys made a great positive impact, but also you guys are friends, which makes a big difference. When the top guys are kind of working together instead of against one another, it really sets a precedent. And I think you guys are the reason why it is where it still is, to be honest with you, and has grown even in the last 5 years.
Yeah, it's changed.
That's really nice. Appreciate that.
It's always been cyclical, but thank you. I don't know that it's all us, but
well, I think it is. I mean, again, you know, you got to remember, I'm looking from a different perspective, so it's easy.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to put an opinion on it than you guys because you guys are living it day to day. And when I was living it day to day, I had a harder time understanding the, you know, like the outsiders look. So now it's like I get to kind of admire from a distance. And don't get me wrong, we still, you know, I mean, we still had, you know, 183 clutches of ball pythons last year. So it's not like I'm not producing ball pythons or snakes for that matter, but I still get to, I just do it for fun, really. You know, it's like almost like a hobby. So I see what you guys do, and it's super. I mean, listen, it's crazy. I mean, like,
it is crazy.
It's crazy to see not only what you guys are producing, but you know, just every amount of professionalism that you guys. It's just wild. I mean, I admire. I think I admire not only the snakes, but I admire your professionalism more than anything because now you guys are like. It makes people feel comfortable investing money. You know, no one wants to invest money from someone that is going to blow the ball python world up next year. You know, and you guys make it stable, and I think that that's pretty amazing. And you agree, right, MJ?
Yeah, right, 100%. And what's crazy is like, the whole thing while you were talking and then you said it was the professionalism, like their level of professionalism. It trickles down to like, you know, like we were talking to Will earlier, Ozzy, and I'm pretty sure you set that standard, you set that bar, not only for him, but a bunch of other people. Same with you, Justin. Like I've been following you guys. I'm on the outside looking in as well. And I've only been following you guys for like just under 4 years. And since the day I fucking came across your guys' page, it was your goddamn presentation, your like just the way you present your brand. Like it was your brand. And then obviously what came with the brand was amazing snakes, like snakes that you can't find anywhere else. And I mean, when you have those two things, dude, I mean, if you think about it, there's people out there who are good at looking professional but they can't fucking hatch a legit snake, or there's something missing. Like, you know what I mean? There's like, it's hard to have people who are really, really good at those two things. And it's out there. And I'm saying you guys definitely aren't the only ones, but you two are the ones that stand top. Like, you know what I mean? I think JP, shout out to JP. He was like, hey, you know, he's talking about his top. I don't know if there's a thing called a Big Five out there. Is there a Big Five out there? A thing called the Big Five? I guess the 5 top breeders in the United States. Or, anyways, he made it seem like it was a thing. He's like, yeah, you know, Ozzy and Justin, they're part of the Big Five, you know. And I was like, what's the Big Five? Is that like something they all?
He might be talking about African animals. Anybody got confused? I think that's what the Big Five is. It's the Cape buffalo, the elephant.
You probably literally made that up.
Right.
You know, probably made it up.
Right.
Like, the way he talked about it, I thought I was like, okay, there's like an award thing every each year, and there's a Big Five. I'm like, fuck, what is that? But
an award thing.
But it made sense, because that's how I you know, it just the you know, obviously I try to set my bar as high as possible, and I want to. You know, I visualize things and I'm like, wow, that's where I want to be, from racks to branding to fucking snake breeding to picture taking, everything. And you guys hit on all the points, man. And then obviously, Brian, you fucking Jesus Christ, like this whole everything I have, this room, second room of snakes that I never even thought I would ever have. Now I have 2 rooms of snakes. Fucking all came from you, bro. It all started from you, Brian, from the very, very beginning. I had a ball python, and I was like, wow, this isn't from the normal looking one I had. And then I found out there was a thing called morphs, and I type in ball python morph, and literally your YouTube, it was your first fucking thing. This is 2015. Your YouTube channel came up, and I was canceling DJ gigs. I didn't care about nothing but all I wanted to do. I broke up with my chick. My chick thought I was weird at the time. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I was like, go party with my friends. I'm staying here. I got a lot of shit to learn. But it was like the most funnest, like I haven't felt like that since I was a kid, man. And I you know, that's, you know, it literally all started with you, Brian. So cheers to you on that.
No, well, thank you so much, man. And I think that's my role these days, you know, quite honestly. And it's a role that I really like more, to be totally honest with you, than the investment side of things. And that role is just to get people excited about all reptiles, you know, not just ball pythons, but all reptiles. And I think that's what I really enjoy. Like, I love it. And obviously, MJ, you were just out at my place, and hopefully Justin and Oz, you can get out here and
I gotta get out
and visit me sometime. I'd love to have you guys see it. It's a different world now, you know. Like, I work with lots of different species. As a matter of fact, I was with Des in South Dakota a couple weeks ago, and I for the first time I thought, I want to count how many species I have, because she said she has I don't know, like 97 species or something like that. And I thought to myself, you know, I wonder how many I have, because we have a lot of different diversity. But now it's you know, like I said, what gets me out of the bed in the morning is, and like MJ saw when he was here, is just, you know, people coming in and people that are afraid of snakes that turn into loving snakes, and then ultimately will be your guys' customers one day if they keep pursuing, you know. And that's what gets me out of bed in the morning every day. And I just feel like, I don't know, like all the pressure of breeding snakes is off. I know you guys are, you know, doing what you do. You both have obviously sizable investments in everything. Justin, your new facility is fucking ridiculous.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nice. And you know, so there's that pressure of like, you have to produce, you know, and I remember that pressure very well, you know, not just produce, but have to hit the odds. You know, I mean, I've seen some stuff from you, Justin, on your videos where you missed a bunch of stuff on some clutches and some projects. I think that when you were talking about that stranger thing, how 20 something eggs or whatever it was, I can't remember the numbers that you talked about with the stranger clowns, or was it chocolate clowns? Yeah, there you go.
Chocolate clown stuff and then Sumapide,
yeah.
Several.
So
There's always some. Yeah.
Wow. See, you know, what's nice with me now is I don't care. You know, I literally don't care. You know, I mean, if I have a great clutch, if I hit, I don't hit, I just have a good time with it, and it's awesome. You know, so but I still, like I said, I will always love the breeding game. I will always admire it, and you know, listen, I'm sure I'm going to buy a few snakes from you guys in the future, because I just can't resist some of that shit that you guys are putting out is ridiculous.
I'm just taking like I'm one of the guys. So all right, you got it, Brian. Don't trip.
Well, shit, bro, you had that. What was the one animal that? No, what was the one animal that you had? That stripy one. What was that? Earlier this year.
That was a banana, calico, leopard, lesser, 100% het pied.
That was a beautiful animal, man. That was another one that I was tripping on. So
yeah. Thanks, man.
The stuff that's coming out nowadays is just insane.
It is, and it's coming everywhere too. Like it's just popping up. Like you're seeing people like what, and like like it's like you said. It's
everybody. I think everybody is like a boutique breeder now. So everybody's being very selective and trying to produce something really cool and really unique instead of mass producing stuff. And I think that helps keep the market strong.
I agree. The selective breeding.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to one of my buddies who kind of is like mentoring me with the bigger snakes. Like I just paired my first retics for the first time, and he's like, well, don't you have this and that to pair too? And I'm like, dude, I'm only doing one fucking pairing a year on that. I'm not trying to be a mass producer of anything. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to wholesale shit. And I like reality, when you have 200 baby retic, you're gonna have to wholesale. Like it's not real. It's not realistic. You can't sit on all that stuff, But I don't know. What's up, Justin?
Sorry, guys, I'm plugged in here.
Justin, can you hear us? Oh, look, he dipped out. I want to hit him. Okay, so earlier, Brian, he's in a hotel right now. He's and he won't tell us the name of the hotel. I don't know why.
Really? Tell him get that name. We'll send some room service, man. Some bottle service.
Yeah. But he said he could. I was like, I don't think he could hear us, and he's like, he wrote down on the thing.
I can hear you. I'm just enjoying listening to you guys mostly. It's great.
Well, we like to talk.
Yeah, we do.
Good.
That's the one thing that I'm the best at. I'll be honest with you. The only thing I'm good at is talking.
So Brian, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So back in the day when we were newbies, we would always we would come to Daytona or whatever.
Yeah.
And we would always hear like, oh, Pete Call did, 300K this weekend. And, Brian Bartek did 250K. Yeah. What was your best show?
Well, actually, that's exactly, you almost hit it on the button, to be honest with you. It was Daytona. I don't know the exact year, to be honest with you, but it was the year we produced the first Pastel Clowns. And we had a whole bunch of other things, obviously, as well. And I did $262,000 that weekend.
That's crazy.
And listen, I did $180,000 on Friday before the show opened. $180,000 on Friday before the show opened.
One day.
That was one day. And then you want to know the really funny thing was that we left that show with like 3 money bags, because it was almost all cash back then. Very little credit cards. And we left the show with like 3 cash bags, just chock full of. Just ridiculous. And then Lori thought she lost the money. She had tucked it in like her bag underneath the seat when we were driving home. And for a minute she couldn't find it. She was like, "Did I leave it somewhere?" But the thing that I always tell people, and this has always been the case, is that, and I know you guys understand this. I made that money, and I was home. I was probably broke within 10 days. Because all I did was I would like go, all right, I got to buy this new project, and I got to buy that new project, and got to buy those new racks from Freedom Breeder, or whatever the case is, and I always say that. Brian Potter once said this about the Tinley Park show. He said, it's the only show where, $3 million gets spent, but there's really only $30,000 that walks through the door, And I think that's pretty accurate, but I think, I at least for me, I don't know, guys, I say maybe I just wasn't a really good businessman. But don't get me wrong, breeding snakes afforded me the life that I have now. It afforded me everything that I've ever done, and I'll always be forever in debt to that world. But I never made money breeding snakes. As a matter of fact, I didn't. I just spent.
You
I
made
just spent it.
250 in I don't know about Justin, but I've never made 250K at a show.
Yeah, but
Never.
I just spent it too
A lot of money,
and I
bro.
didn't buy like anything but no more animals. I just bought more animals and
Yeah.
more racks and more expansion and I mean, I just was I just never I hate to say it, but I've said this before. I didn't make money in life until I stopped breeding snakes for a living. Yeah.
That's
When
hilarious.
I stopped breeding snakes, that's
When
when
you
I
stop when you
yeah.
stop buying snakes.
Yes, and that's well. Hey, listen, I still buy a lot of
Really?
expensive animals. As a matter of fact, I sometimes spend more money on animals than I've ever spent in my life now. But they're just like one animal, like that I won't even breed. Just like one-off
Yeah.
animals that are just cool. And so I spend a lot of money on animals. But I just I mean, I just was so obsessed with like buying the next project and again, you remember the day. I mean, this is, back in Africa, I was dropping, 250, 300K a year in
Yep.
Africa, and most of that money didn't work out. You know what I mean? I was
Right.
buying increasing melanin gene animals or striped animals that weren't genetic. And the list goes on and on, I mean, of animals. I mean, obviously there was that viper ball I spent, $70,000 on that turned out to be nothing.
That's the coolest snake that never proved, I think.
I still look at that snake and go, how is that not genetic?
What snake?
Exactly.
What snake?
Agree. It's crazy.
It was called the viper ball python, MJ.
Viper
And
ball.
the only picture, weirdly enough, I don't even have a picture of myself. There's a picture that Ralph Davis posted that's on the internet, and that's the only picture I think that's even left of that animal. But I bred that thing every way to Sunday, man. I mean, I bred it. I bred. I thought it was going to be co-dominant or incomplete dominant, and it didn't. I produced like 7 clutches the first year. It was a male and all normals. So I raised up every single animal. Every animal I raised up, I bred. Obviously, I bred him to as many females as I could, the original male, and then I even bred head to head. And I think I did it for like 3 years and not one aberration at all. So I mean that's kind of
That's
it was
how
a
it
different.
goes.
Yeah, and that's the game back then. Is that the majority of money was being spent really in Africa more than anything. I mean, I was buying stuff from other people, but I was spending. Kevin McCurley used to laugh and say that there were whole villages that would run around with BHB shirts on because I would support their whole village. And I did. I mean, because I was sending money over to West Africa all year long. I mean, because I had relationships with guys, and the way it works over there is that if you can keep them happy, they'll send you whatever comes up. And so I would have to sometimes in the middle, like 6 months off season, I would get a call from Bienvenu, in Abomey Bonin, and he would be, I need $10,000, and then if I didn't send him the 10 grand, I knew I wasn't going to get that animal the next year, so I just have to send him 10 grand. And I told people, I used to budget about $30,000 to $40,000 a year from just to be ripped off, 30 to 40 grand a year in Africa, because that's what would happen,
If that's not closer,
Right.
if that's not close to gambling, then I don't know what is. Yeah, it's like going to Vegas saying, "All right, I'm going to lose this. This is gone." Like this is.
Yeah. Well, it is gambling, but on the other side, I invested $27,000 into the pinstripe ball python project, and I made over $2 million within 3 years, so
Yeah.
now I spent every dime of it back on but like I said, it was all good. It was fun.
Okay, real quick, I have a question for you guys because I mean I'm not scaling to fucking me. I'm not always evolving pythons with my investments right now, but within my first 3 years, I went from staring at a snake that cost $300 and wondering what should I do, if am I really going to do this, to now spending, like Brian says, this is definitely the most money I've ever made breeding snakes, but this is by far the most money I've ever spent on snakes, a lot, and I'm I'm not even trying. Is Lily around? I'm not even gonna look at the digits, but I just know that it's a lot. Okay, but at what point where was it for you guys where you guys were like, "Fuck, I'm spending a lot of money on snakes"? Did it ever get to a point for you, Ozzy or Justin, to where you're like maybe I'm spending too much? It was literally a decision you had to make whether you're all in or you need to chill out.
I've been, man, I've been profitable from day one. I mean, in 2003, when I was doing my taxes, it was my CPA. I was just buying snakes from Ian. I would keep some, I would sell some, and I was doing my taxes with my CPA, and I made 45 grand that year. And he told me, you know, that I needed to turn it into a business because I'm going to pay taxes and I'm not going to have any write-offs. So right there in his office, he made me create a sole proprietorship, you know, and Ozzy Boyd was a screen name. That's how I started Ozzy Boyd. Like I never had any intention. I was just kind of, you know, buying and selling and, you know, going to shows and stuff. So it's always been profitable for me, but I was working. So I had my work income and then the snake income was extra. So I never really felt that way. I invested in some big projects that I kind of regretted.
Right.
I invested like $54K in the candy project, and just to find out that it was compatible with albino. And what really pissed me off is that they knew it was compatible with albino before I spent my $54K.
Yeah,
but
heavy.
Everybody was keeping it on a hush. So, you know, that's the only real regret, I mean, that I had for an investment. But
how about those retics? I know you bought a bunch of retics.
Oh yeah, the retics. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me about that.
Okay, let's hear this.
Yeah, I spent like $100K on retics, and I just could not get them to breed. You know, I think I got like one viable clutch, and they would just die on me, and just, man, it was miserable.
So you know you're making the big bucks when you're like, oh, I forgot about that $100K I spent.
Yeah.
Wow.
But again, like all of that, like even with that, like even when I had a bad year, I was still profitable. So
yeah.
You know, it's been good, and lately I've been. So I'm really big on like investing and stuff like that. So I've been I think I've been pretty smart like with my money, and I'm buying real estate, Brian. So, you know, make profits, buy rental property, and it kind of, you know, it kind of snowballs, you know?
Yeah, I think it's really smart to do that. I think
it's a tax efficient way.
Yeah. I mean, and listen, I've told people this all the time. I mean, I never poo-poo breeding. I can't think of any or any legal. Well, now I guess marijuana would be legal too, but outside of drugs, legal marijuana, I can't think of any business that you can actually go from having, like you said, maybe a few $100s to $1 million in a relatively short period of time if you do the right things. And really, and this is the other thing I've said, the worst investment I ever made, I'll follow you up, Oz, is that I bought a pair of double het albino labyrinth Burmese from Markville for $25,000. Okay, pair of double heads. Now, by time I produced, they were $300 for albinos, not for double heads, for albino labyrinths. They were $300. I spent 25 grand. Do you know that I turned a profit on that? It took me like 10 years, but I was profitable at the end of it.
Yep. Same thing with the candy project. Like I'm still working the candy project. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, so that's
again.
But that's what I always tell people. The only time you lose money is much like the stock market, right? The only time you lose is when you give up, you know?
Is when you give up.
As long as you keep working a project, you're going to make money.
You see what he just said? You see what he said just now?
What? As long as he's profitable?
He was like, the only time you lose money is when you give up. And if you...
Yeah, that's for sure.
And those are true words, because everybody who has stuck it out makes money in this industry. It's the people that give up that lose money. But if you stick with it and you stay focused, you'll be profitable.
And
100%. Yeah. or the only other way is if you just don't do the work and you neglect your
Yeah,
animals. I mean,
Yeah.
if
exactly.
you work hard and you breed those animals the way you're supposed to, you will always turn a profit every single time. Every single time.
Absolutely.
There's been not been one project that I've ever. Now, again, what you do with that money is a whole different story. Like I wasn't as smart as you, Ozzy, until the last 5-6 years, and I used to just invest every dollar of my money back into the snake
Back
business,
into the
and
snake.
I had one income stream, and that was it,
Yeah,
and that wasn't smart at all. Now, now I have 7 income streams,
yeah.
but that I couldn't have done
That's
any of that
key.
without reptiles. I couldn't have done
Exactly.
any of that without reptiles and breeding reptiles. So I think it's I'm just, like I said, I've just moved to a different sector in my life with it, but I can't imagine ever not. I mean, I literally, I got home at 9:30 when I jumped on with you guys, and literally, I've been working since 7 this morning, and before I left my shop on the way home, before I jumped on with you guys, I was switching male ball pythons. That's what I was doing.
You know what I respect about you, Brian, and some of the other pioneers that were in the industry. Because when I got into it, I was going to school, and I was like, I'm gonna go to school, and I'm gonna get a job, and I'm gonna go to work every day, and I'm gonna retire. But you guys, like, you guys were like rebels,
Yeah.
And I would see you guys, and I'm like, these guys are doing what they love, and they're making insane money doing what they love, And I
Yeah,
just
and there was
that was fearless. Yeah,
yeah. And there was no safety net. I mean, none of us had a safety net. I mean, it was all in.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it was all in. I mean, I remember when I was in my early 20s, really realizing like, holy cow, like if this reptile thing doesn't work out, I'm going to be a greeter at Walmart. I mean,
Exactly.
that was it, man. There was never an option B, ever.
But you're
It was going to
doing
either.
like even now you're doing what you love. So
Yeah.
you were doing the ball pythons and the corn snakes and stuff like that at the time, and then you evolved and you're enjoying yourself now and you're doing what you love. So you're gonna have success.
And real quick, Ozzy,
yeah.
if you really want to see like how much he's doing what he loves, go to the Reptarium, and then you'll really see.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Dog, it's no joke, bro. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm Ryan. Like that's how I knew Brian. Like that, you're all about that. You're really about your shit, bro. Like you're really about doing what you love. And then you even talk to me about how you're gonna be down HB, which I mean, I don't know how much you want to talk about that, but you're making your breeding load a lot lighter, so you could focus more on your podcast and the Reptarium, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's again, I think it's I've always said that, really going back 20 something years ago when I was as passionate about just breeding snakes, and that was the only thing I was passionate about. I always said that when I lost the complete passion to do that, I would move on to something different. And that's what I did. It wasn't that I lost it completely, like I hated breeding snakes or something like that. I just kind of hated the industry for a bit, right? The industry was pretty vicious to me, and there was a lot of really horrible things that still go around about me.
Yeah.
Not as much as it used to, but but we won't even go into that. But my point is that it did steal, but this is a funny thing, right? All that hatred let me back up again. For 27 years, I was probably the Justin of the reptile world, right? Like, the kind of like everyone, like the good guy, that everyone thought was great and stuff like that. And then within like a 3-month period, I went from being the golden child to being the most hated guy in reptiles. And it was wild. It was just like, what just happened? Like it was just it was
That'll
a
be me and
wild.
Justin in 6 months.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know, like I know MJ,
you never know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys are set pretty well, but I mean, what came with me was just the fact that, well, I mean, you probably aren't as far off as you think, because the one thing that I
I
always
know.
find really weird is that people want to see the people they think are the most successful fail.
Yeah.
And that's a shame, because I don't understand that thinking at all. And I think right now you guys are on the pinnacle. So I'm sure that there are people out there that would love to see something tragic happen to either one of you guys, which I think is it's a horrible, horrible thing. I mean, I don't like this is what I've always said, and I continue to say this my whole life, is that my success or failure is not predicated on your success or failure, right? Like
Exactly.
if you succeed, it doesn't make me less potential to succeed. You
It
know,
should
we can
inspire
both
you.
succeed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It should
But
inspire you.
unfortunately, there's this weird dynamic. And so, anyways, my point is that because I had all of a sudden, everyone thought, you know, I mean, obviously my sales were being affected a lot back then for investment animals because people were making up stuff like all my stuff was sick, it was dying, it was full of mites, it was, you know, don't buy from Brian. You know, you're going to lose all your money. He's going to screw you. All these things that were like crazy because I had 27 years of a past history of never screwing anybody, never
Right.
having sick animals, all these crazy things. And so, but the interesting thing is that caused me to take an about face and really reassess my future. And I thought, okay, I need to, you know, go in a different path. And interestingly enough, all that hatred that has now died down and is, you know, there's still a handful of people that hold on to things, but overwhelmingly there's no negativity. But those people really saved my life in a lot of ways because they made me find a new passion that I'm
Hmm.
more happy than I've ever been with my
Yeah.
business. You know, I mean, and MJ knows
Wow.
this. I literally love every minute of my life right now, with the exception of you guys may not follow me. I've had some anxiety issues this year, but I'm getting much better now. I'm much better. But outside of the mental health issue that I dealt with over the last 6 7 months, you know, I love what I do. I mean, I love
Good,
every
man.
minute of it, and I don't think I could ever be any happier than I am right now.
Good.
And I still get to work with animals every single day. You know, I mean, now I just get to now I spend more time. You know, and I'm sorry I'm dominating this conversation. I want to hear a lot from you guys
No.
too, but I wanted
Yeah.
to say, you know, I think that you guys I think that we use our ability to read behavior of animals to successfully breed animals, right? I mean, we notice things that maybe other people don't notice. Maybe the way the female is laying, maybe her distension with follicular growth, maybe the way the male goes in the cage. You know, all these little behavioral cues we use because we have this kind of innate ability to read an animal better than some people.
Right.
And sometimes it's a learned thing. Sometimes over years you get better at it. But I think a lot of people that are the most successful in reptiles are born with it or just have an innate ability to read animals. And I've been very fortunate to do that with dogs, cats, you know, lions, you name it. I've been very fortunate to be able to like just kind of feel what they're thinking, and that's why I don't ever get. That's why, you know, 32 years of working with deadly snakes, you know, in Africa with big eight cats, with you name it. I've never even been to the hospital one time, you know, for a
Good.
bite or anything. I mean, I've
Knock
worked
on
with
wood.
giant snakes, everything, and that's because of that. So my point is that I used to use that ability to breed snakes well. Now I use that ability to just work with the animals and understand
Yeah.
their behavior and like try to enrich them to a point. Listen, ball pythons belong in drawers. You know what I mean? Let's just make that,
They belong
you
in
know,
what?
point.
They
In
believe
a rack system. They belong in a rack system. I mean, they
100%.
do the best in a rack system.
Yeah.
A retic does not belong in a rack system.
No.
You
Wait,
know, and that's just the facts. You know what I mean? And so now I use my ability to read behavior of animals to see what makes them the happiest. And it's dude, I love it. I love the fact that we're doing training shit. MJ saw some of it, and we're doing shit that's great. I mean, I'm telling you, we're going to be doing dolphin type shows with reptiles pretty soon. You know?
he's not even
Crazy,
joking.
man.
It's fucking nuts. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Like I mean, all I
Kevin
can,
too, man. Kevin is crazy. Like
Yep.
with the animals, like the work he does, like with the
Yep.
monitors and stuff. It's pretty insane.
you two are something else, bro.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, Kevin is honestly,
Mhm.
I'll be totally honest with you guys, and this is no disrespect to you guys, because I mean, I haven't spent enough time around animals with you two, so I can't make the assumption, but I can honestly say Kevin is the best animal behavior guy I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
Period. Hands down. I
Yeah,
mean, I've never seen anyone
He's
understand
amazing.
animals more than Kevin. No
it's
one.
not.
Nobody.
Yeah,
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
and so yes, I've learned a lot from him.
Yeah, the proof's in his videos too. Like you could just see like he has some sort of just fucking he could just read these animals like no one else. Like it's pretty bizarre. But with these videos he comes out with, it kind of gets you to like build your own confidence to want to go ahead and try to read the animal the same way. It's just but it's like what you said, Brian. I feel like you just gotta be born with it, dude. Like I don't know, you can't really teach someone to be like that.
You can't teach someone to be like Kevin. There's no way. I mean, you can get better.
Or
you can hone your skills, but what Kevin has is he was born with that shit, you know, and there's no doubt about it. But you know, the fact is, I guarantee you that, you know, Ozzy, you have it, Justin, you have it, you know, 100. You wouldn't be successful if you didn't, because, you know, I know it's hard for guys like us to open up a drawer of a ball python, and do you understand that there are people that will open that drawer and just see a snake, period.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. That's all they see.
Yeah.
They don't understand anything more than that. And the fact that you guys can open the drawer and see those little cues means you have that ability. And like I said, I think we hone it over years. I'm certainly way better with reptiles than I was, you know, when I was a kid. But at the same time, you know, there's no doubt that you need to have some innate ability or you're not going to be successful.
Well, I don't know about Justin, but for me, I love working with the animals. The business side of it, you know, the social media side of it and all of that, I'm not crazy about that. I guess I'm more introverted, more low key. So
I hate that stuff.
That's what I struggle with. I struggle with all of the emails, the messages, you know, it can be overwhelming. And again, Brian, I'm sure you've been through it, but like, you know, people asking for advice, people, you know, wanting you to ID snakes, and it's relentless. And like it'll overwhelm you. So you know, so those are the things that I struggle with in the hobby, but I could go downstairs for hours and work with my animals, and it'll feel like 10 minutes, you know. I just, you know, I enjoy being in the snake room, and I think when you lose that is when you got to move on. You know? It's like I tell my crew this all the time. I mean, I'm working with the animals every day, all day, you know, doing different things. But I tell my crew this all the time. I wish I could clean snakes 8 hours a day. You know, I would love to trade jobs. You know what I mean? Let me clean snakes for 8 hours a day, and then you take on what I do, and I'll be happy as hell. You know, as a matter of fact, there's a saying that says that the more successful you become, the less you do what made you successful. Exactly. Yeah,
you know,
definitely true.
And that's just the reality of it. You know, I mean, what made me successful was just cleaning and breeding snakes every day. And now I don't do nearly as much of it. I do all the breeding, but I don't do much of the cleaning these days. But over at the Reptarium, I love working with the cleaning stuff and you know, interacting constantly. It's just part of it.
So one of the things that I want to do for the industry. I mean, the industry, the hobby has been a blessing to me. I mean, it's changed my life in a very positive way. And one of the things that I want to do is I kind of want to put out some content on how to take, like, when you're breeding snakes and you're making money, how to then take that money and convert that money over to
investments,
wealth, sustainable wealth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's great, Ozzy. And let me go ahead.
Over the years, like I've seen a lot of breeders like make lots of money. You know, make lots of money. But the trick is what you do with that money that, you know, makes the difference. So if you're smart, maxing out your retirement accounts or whatever, you know, there's ways that you could take your hobby and then turn it into independent wealth. I'll be right back.
That's a great one.
Is he gonna get a suitcase full of money? You think he has
he's got all these gold bars and everything, just gonna bring him and drop them.
He's just like, I just have to go switch out my Bitcoin real quick, you know.
No, I had something on the fire I forgot about, but whatever. But anyway, I believe wholeheartedly that you can take this hobby, and it doesn't have to be ball pythons. It could be anything.
Yeah.
If you're working and you got this little side hustle, you could turn that into something very positive, and impact your life.
It's funny you say that because I like I told you before, I didn't really make money until I stopped buying snakes constantly for money, and then we became very successful but it's funny you say it because I've asked this question before, and with very little exception, and maybe Justin and Ozzy, you can answer this question for me. Can you name anybody? I shouldn't say anybody. Who would you name in the business in the forever? I mean, since the start of this business that has become independently wealthy without doing other things besides snakes.
What do you mean other things? Like
I know. I mean, like what you're doing, taking the money from snakes, still investing in snakes, but then taking other investments and stuff like that. Has anyone ever just bred snakes and become a multimillionaire without making any other investments besides that? I can't think of anybody, but I could be wrong.
That could apply to almost any industry. And if you study what wealthy people do, they basically when they have a business, they take the profits from that business and they buy assets that generate passive income, whether it's stock investments or investing in other businesses, as a passive investor, or real estate. I mean, those are the main vehicles. So nobody teaches you that. Like, they don't teach you that in school, And so a lot of people don't understand that. They don't understand taxes, etc. And you make all this money, you don't pay your taxes, and then April comes around and, oh shit, I got to pay this $150K tax bill or whatever. So I think it's just a matter of education. I mean, if you have a job and you're living off of this income, and you start your little reptile business, and you take all of the profits from that, and you buy 1 or 2 condos every year, or you max out your retirement account or whatever, you'll be well off. I mean, you'll be in pretty good shape.
That's my point, though, and that was my point. Is that and that's why I love what you said about that. Is I think that people have to understand that you want to continue to keep growing your business, growing your, whether it's your facility, your investments, your groups, but you have to also diversify. And again, we lived for 27 years with one income stream. And we had years where we were banked.
Yep.
We had years where we literally couldn't pay the bills.
And now you said you have 7 income streams. So when one is drying up, another one is, going full bore. But this is not an issue that's just, it's not isolated to reptile people. It's the same thing in pro sports. You get all these guys making all this money, but they don't know what to do with it. And then they end up broke after a few years. So
when they get hurt, they stop playing and they go broke.
Yeah, it's a matter of just education or information.
Yeah, and I think you're right, though. I think that there's probably some extreme value, and again, I'm always thinking social media. I know you guys said you don't like it, but
no, social media is powerful. I mean, I don't go on YouTube and all of that stuff, so I'm not up on everything that's going on, but I'm aware of the income potential.
Well, that's great, but listen, we obviously do very well on social, but it's hard to do. I mean, very few people can get to that stage.
You've been working at it for a while, so
for 13 years, and I didn't take a penny out of social until maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago, when it really blew up and became a very successful part of my life. But my point is that I always am thinking of it from like social and value and all this stuff, and I think, man, you could probably make some money, another side hustle, by advising and consulting breeders how to invest their money beyond just the next project. Because I think that's the mistake I made, Ozzy. I'm not kidding you. It's like I'd make that 260 grand and I would spend 270 grand on snakes. you know, and borrow 10 grand
Yeah.
of my credit card out my credit cards. You know what I mean? So like I wish I would have had someone saying, Brian, you made 260, 270. Why don't you take, you know, 20% of that and stick that into some annuity or some condo or you know, put
No
that in the
annuities. No.
and no one talks about it. No. Yeah.
But yeah,
my
you're
point
right.
is that, you know,
Yeah. Think about it. You could have been buying, you know, rental houses or whatever, or apartment buildings, you know, with that money.
Yeah.
And then that's again, that's passive income. That's a passive income stream, and it's very tax friendly. So there's, you know, it's very doable. You hear people say, you know, you can't become rich breeding snakes. I disagree with that. You know, it's you can become rich doing anything in this country if you manage your money, like if you know what to do with the money.
If you
and
yeah,
that's
you
why
know how
I
to
was
move.
saying
You got to
that,
know how to
you know,
move. And I'm actually really interested to hear what Justin.
Me and Justin, we talk.
Sorry, go ahead, Brian. What were you
this
saying?
too, and you know,
Yeah. I don't even know if my stream is working. Can you guys even hear me if I talk?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah,
You guys can hear me? Okay.
we can hear you.
I just enjoy listening to you. I figure I just can contribute by making good facial expressions. No, I think too, a different way of looking at it now, Brian, is that the industry has become so long now, and the fact that it seems to have so much longevity, and we see it coming with ball pythons at least. There's not the same speed at which things move, you know, because we're working now with these multi-recessives. They're like mutual funds. They mature over a decade, some of these projects. So if you make some good money, there's no reason necessarily to go out like, oh, if I don't spend this on something else, then in 2 years I'm not going to be making money. Now it's changed now to where I tell people don't go out and just reinvest. Like, be strategic, and you know, that's kind of what I really enjoy about this industry. Aside from the animals themselves, it's just the strategy. I like you're playing a strategy game. Like, I'm leveling up. I'm thinking about how to leverage these assets with, you know, different projects into these projects, and it'll mature over 2-3 years. But when I hit that, then what do I need at that point? And like, I like that strategy side of it.
Yes.
I just don't think the necessity of reinvestment is not the same now as it was back in the beginning.
Well, the thing is that I tell people
you're building something.
Yeah, back, you know, 15 years ago, if you made, let's just, for simplicity sake, say you made $100,000, you know, a year on a project. If you didn't spend 80 of that 100 on the next project, your 100 was going to turn into 60, going to turn into 40, going to turn into 30.
Yes, completely different.
Choice but to reinvest the majority of money. And that was one thing that I really marveled at with you, Justin, as I watched you over the last 15 years, is that you really were like, in the beginning, you must have had a plan, because it took you a long time to get to where you are. You know what I mean? And that was a lot of diligence. And what I mean by that is that you were like breeding, holding back, selling some of the byproduct of what you were doing without selling off your project. And I remember looking at that and wondering where you were going to go with it. And then all of a sudden one day it hit, and it was like, holy shit, this guy just spent the last several years building this empire, and now he's unleashed it. You know what I mean? And I don't know that many.
I didn't know I was doing that, but yeah.
You know, I expected that you knew exactly.
So you lucked into it.
No, I don't believe a word he's saying.
No. It was intellectual curiosity. I honestly didn't need, you know, I had a job, so I didn't need the income side of it. My uncle, who you met early on, he'd invested in a lot of the animals initially, and it wasn't for a few years that I started paying him back all his investments. So initially, I just thought, man, I just want to see what this stuff looks like, and I didn't dream I could ever be at the top of this industry. So it was only just to satisfy my own desires of what I wanted to make, and so selling everything I didn't care about too much, and just thinking, well, how can I keep building what I want? And after a while, it did start to really snowball, but I didn't have in my mind the fact that it was going to be a winning strategy. That wasn't part of it for me initially.
Well, sometimes that is a little bit of, I mean, that's, you know, again, one of my favorite quotes of all time came from Lucille Ball. It said, the harder I work, the luckier I get. So I think maybe that's what that was what you fell into.
Your volume is
sure.
Yeah. So and I don't, because Brian, check it out. I need, because you're in a better position where you were before you moved. So all you need to do is exit out and go back to the link inside your text message. That's all you got to do.
Okay.
Exit out. Thanks, Ozzy.
No problem.
I was gonna say, and I was like, damn, I don't want to say it. Ozzy, I'm gonna let Ozzy say it. Okay. Now, but dude, what I'm very interested on, like, for instance, Justin, like, what other investments have you been doing other than the snakes all these years? Because I mean, you've carried this brand for quite a while. You've done, I know you've done really well.
Sure.
You know, like, and you've done amazing. So like, are you just solely doing this off snakes? Like, I mean, are you one of those people that Brian is mentioning? Like, hey, how many people do you know doing this? Because I thought of you. So, just curious.
Yeah. So, you know, just to be completely honest, my journey has been like very much like a snowball, and just pushing it up a hill, pushing it up a hill for many years, reinvesting. Everything I did make, I would just put back into either the facility or growing the strategy or growing something, until about 4 years ago, I'd say it really crossed a peak, and I've been doing it full time for a good long time. And so now, you know, and actually Ozzy inspired me in a lot of ways to look at this more. I've started buying real estate myself. I bought several pieces this summer. Just because it comes to a point where you have a really good engine going, and you don't necessarily have to reinvest in it as much. You create so much reinvestment just by holdbacks. People don't see that. Every animal you don't sell is an investment, a reinvestment in the snakes.
Is it better?
But at some point, you make most of the snakes that you want to keep.
Yeah, I always buy a few animals every year, but it's primarily the projects. You know, you produce these projects, and then I constantly, and I know Justin does the same too. We've talked about this too, is where we upgrade our genetics, where but psychologically, a lot of guys, they have a tough time with it, because you got to sell adult females, you got to sell adult breeder males, and a lot of people just can't bring themselves to do that. And Brian, I remember I used to, like, I would have these big adult het ghost females, and Ian would be like, "You're selling those?" He's like, "I'll take them all. I'll take them." He used to take all of that stuff from me, and he thought I was crazy at the time, but I was replacing those hets with visual ghosts. So what I was doing was just constantly, I call it the upgrade, where every year I'm upgrading my genetics.
There's never a mathematical reason to ever sell an adult female. Sorry, I don't want to talk over you. There's never a mathematical reason to ever sell any adult female ball python, period.
Yeah.
Never, on paper. Yeah. And so once you realize that there's something other than math at play here. And you start to quantify all the intangibles that it has. So say I keep 50 regular pied females, and it makes in my attention on those 50 pieds, that produce $100,000, $200,000 easy. Okay, to say my attention on those pieds made me miss 2 really critical clutches of really high end stuff. It's the same value. It's the same value. So you only have so much. Your attention is the commodity that we're all dealing in, really. Our own attention, how much we can handle, how much we can manage, how complicated these projects are getting. It's getting exponentially more complicated. I don't know if you feel that, Ozzy, but this year I felt a crush of how complicated these projects are becoming, and how important it is to be able to focus on them, or you'll just cut your own head off.
It's very critical, and the most important thing is you want to nurture and maintain your passion, because at the end of the day, Justin's success, my success, Brian's success, it was all fed by a passion and a love for what we do. And if you kill that, you're done.
Yeah.
So,
you're done.
So again, I sell those animals because I want to keep my collection manageable, enjoyable, because I know when I'm having fun and my animals are being properly cared for, I'm going to have success. So I'm okay with selling one of my customers a big adult female. Great. I know it sells for $2,000, but I could make 15 or 20 grand with that snake. I get that. So again, like Justin said, mathematically, it doesn't make sense. And people think you're crazy, but you got to take a step
Makes
back.
all the sense in the world.
Picture.
Yeah, I've talked about the fact that it's difficult. You guys hear me okay now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, what I've talked about the fact that, and this is a little bit of a pun, but reptiles don't always scale, right? And that's one of the things that people don't understand is that it's very easy to say, hey, if I produce 10 clutches and I make 20 grand, I can produce 200 clutches and make 400 grand. But it doesn't always scale that way. And that's what people have to, I talked to Miguel about this recently because he's like, I'm like, get a big place and this and that. And I said, just be careful because, a bigger place means more overhead, means more employees, means you're probably not going to have the percentage of success. If you're trying to shoot for, upper 80%, lower 90%, you might drop. I mean, that's what happened to us when we went from, doing 500 clutches a year to having 2,000 females a year. We went from like 87 to 92% productivity down to like 57, 58% productivity. And did it make any sense? It didn't make sense at all.
And the overhead on top of it.
And the overhead on top of it. So for me, I mean, granted, I'm a little bit different now, but I keep it 200 females. That's it. I won't go more than 200. And when I get to a point, and like I think I told you, I had 183 clutches out of 200 females this year. When as the next batch of females comes up, like you said, the ones go out the door. Whatever that project is, and again, I may not be doing it like on the investment level that you guys are, but I still look at it as a business. It's got to make sense. I still pay my crew and it's their livelihood. So I can't afford to lose money, to pay my crew by not making proper decisions. So that's what people have now, whatever that number is, maybe 200 females is right. Maybe 500 females, right. Maybe 1,000 females, right. I was at Mike Wilbank's, just a couple weeks back, and he has a lot of animals and he seems to be dialed in pretty well, and he seems to be doing it the right way. So, that number,
put together a really good system for it.
Yeah, if you have a really good system, but it doesn't always scale. So I think you're right, Ozzy, where it's like, hey, this is where I'm at, and this is where I'm going to stay. And if that means I have to groom some animals, replace it with the upgrade, that makes it all the better.
You could have $400,000 in sales, and you could net $300K, or you could have $3 million in sales, and you can net $300K. It's like.
Ozzy, it's so funny you say that because the biggest so in 2008, 2009, when the wheels fell off of the world, right? The housing market bust. We almost lost everything. I had been had good years, bad years, stuff, but all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, my debt load was too high. I almost lost the whole business. It made me realize what a business. I always said I was never a good businessman until I almost lost everything. And then I had to learn how to be a good businessman, right? And that's, like I said, diversification of income streams and all this other stuff. But regardless, my point is that I always say I don't care how much you gross. It makes no difference to me whatsoever. You could tell me like, hey, I make 100 grand a month. I'm like, what do you put in the bank at the end of the month? Because if you put 5 grand in the bank in the month, then I'm not impressed at all. And I'm not a money guy. I obviously we make really good money, and I don't give a shit about it, to be totally honest with you. But my point is that, like you said, I that was where my problem was. BHB was grossing, $2.5-3 million a year, but was barely making any money.
You got to pay yourself first. Yeah, you got to pay yourself first. And
you got to pay yourself first.
Yeah, and if you get into the habit of, I don't know, like I try to reinvest 40% of everything I make back into some type of asset, passive income generating, whatever. And if I can do that consistently, I'm set. Now the other 60%, as my income increases, that could be a lot of money. I mean, you could splurge, you could take vacations, drive a nice car, do whatever you want. But if you're consistently reinvesting 40 cents out of every dollar you make, you'll be set.
Oh yeah, that's a big percentage. Yeah,
That's a big percentage now. Yeah, most I think
his textbook.
Most textbooks would recommend 10%, but people don't even do that. They'll make $1 and they'll spend $1.10. You know what I mean? And they'll go into debt. They'll spend more than what they have. And then once you get into that debt cycle, you're done, and
And that's what happened to me. That's why, like I mentioned, I don't do anything. I don't borrow money for anything, not cars, not house, nothing. I don't. Not that you can borrow money towards investments if it makes sense. But for me personally, I don't do any. I don't make. Every investment I make, I pay outright, just because I'm an anti-debt guy. I don't. I have a debit card. I don't even have a credit card. Which is crazy, right?
It's a good way to be.
Yeah, liquid is what I'm about right now. I'm about liquidity, but that being said, I think I remember Bob Ashley, NARBC. He used to tell me that he would put 10 cents on every dollar into investments, and he said he learned this in his mid-20s, and he said he found that he was more excited about the 10 cents than he was the 90 cents. And so he said, every time I made money, I was excited about the 10% that I had to put into and he said, I put that into a tangible investment that a bank would lend me money on, right? Mm-hmm. Some people were like, well, I invested in that pair of Angolan pythons. Well, the bank ain't giving you any money on that Angolan python. That you know what I mean? But if that 10% is a piece of property, it's some equity that you could literally, if you had to, if let's say, you needed to come up with $2 million and you were like, well, I've got all this investment, you could go to a bank and get $2 million on a note from that tangible investment. And that's how Bob became rich.
Yeah. Yeah. Bob is smart. He's a smart dude.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the reason why I like real estate is if you have equity in your real estate and you refinance it and you pull out that $2 million, that's tax free.
Yeah.
You don't pay taxes on that, unless you sell that real estate. So I don't plan on ever selling any of my real estate. I'm gonna die with it and then just leave it to my family. So think about it. If you're in retirement and you refi, you pull out $200,000-300,000, that's $200,000-300,000 tax free. You can live like a king off of that. So
how's the market going to go here in the future, Ozzy, as a real estate guy? I mean, do you think that we're I know right now, the last month we had the biggest housing increase since the early 2000, 2008, 2009.
They're giving away money for free. The interest rates are so low, it's like free money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think it's good. And again, I think with the way they're devaluing the dollar, eventually inflation is going to kick in. They're actually trying to force inflation.
Yeah.
So as you get inflation, say you take a 20-year mortgage or something, or a 30-year mortgage, you're going to borrow that money. By the time you pay that money back, it's not even going to be worth what it was that you borrowed,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah. So the asset is just going to continue to appreciate like crazy as the value of the dollar goes down, Right. Mm-hmm. And if you borrowed $200,000 for a property, in 20 years, that property is now $800,000, but you're paying back $200,000. So, so it's a hedge. It's a hedge against inflation.
Yeah, I hear you.
So and then there's all kinds of stuff you can invest in. I mean, again, I just love the idea of passive income. I don't want to have to trade my time for money. Every year goes by.
Passive income is also, like you said, it's the biggest tax, shelter, by far. So
you pay the least tax on passive income. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? So earned income, you pay higher taxes. So it is what it is.
There you go, MJ. Get on it, brother.
This is an awesome reptile podcast. This is exactly what people need to hear, though, because reality is we go through our whole life and no one ever wants to talk about this stuff, So these
guys are hatching out hatching out cool clutches if they like the stock market this year. I mean, the stock market was just insane. So if you had money like in some of these stocks, I mean, it just, that money is just growing for you. Like this year has been nuts. And I talked to a few breeders. Jesse, he invests, and a couple other guys, Adar. We're always talking stocks and stuff like that, but we made a ton of money this year just from the stock market, So people need to, people need to wise up, and you making some money. Got to reinvest a little bit, keep your collection sharp, but you also got to redirect some of that money into some other investments as well.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think that if you're too one-sided, that's where everyone makes the mistake.
Yep,
100%. When
and then
you just put it into everything, it's like it almost killed me. Like I said, I almost lost everything.
Yeah, it happens.
10 years later, I learned a valuable lesson and couldn't be in a better spot.
Good.
Yeah, 100%. Man, guys, so check this out. What I want to do real quick, I have a question I want to ask all three of you. I want to hear from you guys because, I mean, let's be honest. As much as it's been good for people with 2020 and the people it's been bad, a lot of people can't wait to get the fuck out of 2020. So 2021's around the corner. I have an idea, Brian, what you're excited for in 2021, but can you let us know what it is that you're looking forward to the most in 2021?
Starting with me? Yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to expanding my zoo again. That's a big thing for me. I mean, to continue to solidify to be one of the more interactive places in the country, if not the most interactive place in the country, with opportunities and education, entertainment / everything. It's gonna be pretty exciting. This year coming up. I mean, it's every year is amazing, and then beyond that, I'm just looking forward to walking into Walmart without a mask on.
Yeah.
Amen.
I love how you said Walmart. Thanks. Is that Zeus? Was that Zeus or Phoebe?
That was Phoebe. Shut up, Phoebe.
Phoebe sounds big.
All right, man. All right, so
she's a Great Dane. Yeah, we call her a good. We call her a good Dane because she's not really as big as a Great Dane.
Ozzy, what do you got going on in 2020 that you can maybe give us a little taste, or something? Just share a little something. I don't know.
Man, I'm always excited because you're always taking your projects to the next level. So I'm always excited about something. I mean, the animals definitely, but I'm just looking forward to traveling again. I retired in 2017, so I was like, I'm retired. I'm young. I'm gonna travel. I'm gonna do all this fun stuff. And 2020 hit, but it's good. So I'm really looking forward to continuing to add properties to my portfolio, grow my business. And again, like what I was just talking about, I want to start putting out some content, working on some content. So putting out some content just to maybe help people in the industry. And it's not going to be like, I'm not charging anything for it. This is just some content, something I'm passionate about, a topic that I really enjoy. I just want to put it out there. So again, make the Reptile Nation stronger. The industry is growing like crazy. I like to see it continue to grow. And looking forward to seeing some of these younger guys that are coming up, step up and represent, help the hobby grow.
Oh man, that sounds all good. That's music to my ears. I'm sure to a lot of other people as well. Justin, JKR, what about you, man?
Sir, so I'm really excited right now because I feel like the industry, or at least as far as ball pythons, pairings and morphs and combos, the cutting edge stuff is changing really fast. I feel like we're starting to get into another transition period, where what we've been doing just the last few years is suddenly going to start to change. And to me, it's like a whole new level of discovery. I love the learning process of this and finding out what's next and what new problems show up. So, I mentioned this earlier, is I'm seeing all these crazy multi-recessive stuff coming down the pipe, and what that means for the industry and what that means for strategy of a keeper and how to specialize, because we're going for longer and longer odds. At the same time, you want to hit those odds, but if you start diversifying too far, you have to have an obscene number of animals. And I love all the strategy of that. I love trying to figure out what the best game plan is and everything. And I'm not going to know the answer until I do it for a few years, until we really get into it and find out the results of what I think are going to work or not work. And I'm excited about all that. The other thing is I'm working with some developers on actually trying to take some of the stuff that we use here at JKR for our snake keeping and record keeping and some of that stuff, and actually making it available to the industry as well, which I think will be a really cool asset for people. They'll really enjoy it and be a good thing. So
exciting stuff. Now, I'm gonna have it go back to you, so Justin. I'm gonna wrap this around, okay? Because we're gonna call it ends on Brian, but we're gonna start off with you, Justin, and let you go. I'm gonna let Ozzy go and let Brian go. So, Justin, obviously this fucking episode's been full of obviously it was more of the strategic business conversation type of podcast versus the snakes, so which was awesome. But I do want to know, what is the best advice you could give to somebody who is at that position where they can possibly turn their snake into the business, or they could just kind of just keep it if they just don't know what they should do, basically?
They're on the edge, right? So that's an easy question, because there's one really, really important strategy, and that is just let the business grow naturally. Do not force it. Don't force it into growing over the top big really fast. Don't say, I've got to add all this extra stuff and try to jump in. Just let it grow organically. Keep your wits about you. Make smart decisions. Because people, when they feel like they got to spend money, they get strung out, or you don't properly scale your time with the animals or whatever. There's all, like we were talking before, there's all these intangibles. So just let it happen organically. Let the grow, hold back a few things, and let it lead you in. There's no race. It's not a race. There's so much time ahead of us. And if you want to make sure you're here for the long haul, then let it grow organically and just let it feel it out.
Fill it out. Super, super, super facts. Justin, Cabelka, I appreciate you so much. Happy holidays. Get back to your family. And yeah, man, we'll be in touch. Sure. I know we're gonna have our own round 2 together here pretty soon, so I'll talk to you about that. And I appreciate you.
Big props to all 3 of you guys. Appreciate you guys so much. Brian, I need to talk to you. I didn't say much to you, man, but we got to catch up again.
Yeah, dude, let's do that, man. Happy holidays, brother.
See you, Justin.
Sounds good. Have a happy holiday. See ya.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. You too.
All right, Ozzy. So before you let us go, man, like I asked Justin, what's the best advice you could give to somebody who's literally at that point where, they're seeing some money from the snakes, right? But they're just not sure if they should turn into a business or not. What's your advice for them?
Well, for me, it was passion first, and then the business was a byproduct of that passion. So, you got to do what makes you happy. Right. Again, you shouldn't chase $1. 100%. Shouldn't chase $1. I mean, granted, money is, you need money to survive in this world. So money is definitely important, but I don't think it should be a decision based strictly on money. Do what makes you happy, and if it makes you happy, then the money is going to be a byproduct. So that's my advice. And then one other piece of advice. One thing that I see a lot is people are so focused on saving money that they lose sight of their opportunities to make money. you know?
Yes.
So,
Hundo.
you know, I mean, I get it. You want to save money, but, you know, don't lose out on tens of thousands of dollars because you're trying to save $100 is what I'm just trying to say. Because I see a lot of people sometimes they're looking for the perfect fit for a project, but they're hung up on like, you know, it's $2,000 and they're trying to get you down to 1,600. It's like that frustrates me because I'm like, you know, do you want to save $400 or do you want to make a $30,000 clutch? Like, so stop focusing on saving money and spend some time and energy on making and increasing your income, you know. So
you gotta make the move, bro. Like Ozzy, hey man, Ozzy, like I always say, man, I appreciate you so much, more than you ever know, man. I'm telling you right now, you're a huge inspiration to not only me but everyone who's been watching. We had the most views, which I'm not surprised. I knew this was going to be the biggest podcast ever, but man, you literally laid out some fucking serious game for us tonight, Ozzy. And whoever was really listening knows that this is just a taste of the game that Ozzy's trying to give us. 2021, he put us on, man. So be ready for that. Be on the lookout. And yeah, man, any chance I get, Ozzy, I'll be fucking promoting the shit out of that.
You still owe me a trip to Tijuana too, so I didn't forget about that.
Bro.
And Brian, I'm gonna call you, man. We need to talk. It's been too long.
Dude, call me, seriously. I'd love to just chat about finances and stuff like that too, man. I love it. I probably have too much money sitting in that 1.7% return right now.
I have some great suggestions for you. Yeah.
All right, man. All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon, man. Happy holidays, dude.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Later. Oh man. All right, Brian. Me and you, man. Again, dude, you're amazing. Thank you so much for spending the time. I've seen your day to day, bro. I've witnessed it. You're not human. You're fucking an animal. You're nonstop, bro. And it's all for the love of what you do. And you know, not only the animals, man, but you really love the people. I see how you take care of the people who come into, you know, the Reptarium, and I feel like everyone's VIP there. You literally don't shine anybody in that fucking place. You give you're like you. I don't know, man. It's just I've seen you in action. So much respect. Yeah, I know you know, you told me that you didn't know how long you could hang out tonight. You hung out the entire time. Thank you so much, bro.
No, it was really a lot of fun, dude. I mean, I had a great time, and you know, I have mad respect. Obviously, you're my brother, but I have mad respect for Ozzy and Justin as well. So it was great to hear what they had to say. You know, it's cool. You know, it's you know, it's times like this that keep drawing me back in. You know what I mean? And and it's something that I'll never, for my whole life, I'll always love this. And you know, no matter what, you know, the future holds for the breeding side of my house, which I'll always breed snakes, but you know, whatever it holds, I'll always be passionate about listening to this type of stuff. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, man. It's really awesome. And you know, what's even more awesome is just seeing where you're at with your energy, bro, and how you're carrying things. And you know, it wasn't an easy 2020 for you, man. Like, you know, anyone who follows you know that you've been struggling with fucking anxiety to a whole other level this year. You know, I mean, I remember we talked earlier about having you come on the podcast. You just weren't in a good place, and I felt that, man. I really felt like you were really struggling. And then seeing you in Vegas was like, fuck, a blessing. Oh, I saw you. I went to your podcast. We hung out, and that's why I was like, oh man. It was,
you know, I tell you, and that was the thing. You know, I think that it was important for me to share this struggle because so many people have struggled this year. You know, and like I said earlier in the podcast, you know, I'm in the best spot I've ever been in my life as far as everything. You know, my business, my relationships, you know, everything. I'm so and I wanted people to understand that you could have everything you want and still struggle with mental health, and that anxiety kicked my ass to the point where I was a shell of myself. But even with that shell, you know, 7 days a week I showed up to work, and 7 days a week I vlogged, and 7 days a week I kept positive. You know, listen, when I was in the depths of hell, is what I like to say it. You know, from March really through July, and but I was still a positive person, and I was still optimistic, and I still believed that I was going to get better, number one. And I hope that through going through that and being you know, open with that, I was hoping that other people maybe could could get out of bed. You know what I mean? Those people that, said, fuck, if Brian could be as bad as he is, and he's, vlogging 7 days a week and running multiple businesses and stuff like that, I better get my ass out of bed today. And now I'm getting to the other side of it to where I'm 98%, man. I'm 98%. I'm not 100% yet, but I'm 98%. And that's a hell of a long way from 10% that I was earlier this year.
Oh man, and that's so good to hear, bro. And you're like you're battling to get to that 100%, like meaning like you're not settling at 98%. You're gonna make sure you get to that 100. You know what I mean? And
yep.
You got nothing but support from me. I'm sure you got support from literally everyone else who's been tuning in. My last question I want to ask you, Brian, because I will tell you this, man. One thing I've been like, it moves me inside when I get messages of people who say that my podcast has helped them with either something they're going through, like just listening to it. That means the world to me, man. But a lot of them seem to be battling with anxiety as well. And I'm sure I'm sure they hit a point where like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I doing this? And do you have any advice for people like that? I mean, I've even been there sometimes get there now, but what can you say to those people if you don't mind?
Yeah, no, I love that. It's interesting, dude. I'm becoming as passionate about mental health and getting beyond it as I am anything in my life right now. But the thing I really need people to understand is, number one, you can't give up ever, right? Ever give up. Even when I was in spots where I wanted to die every second of every day for months. I try to tell people, like, there was no relief for me. 24 hours a day, it was pain, and that went on for months. I mean, not a day or two. It went on for months, and but I never ever was going to give up. Ever, I always going to push. And you got to remember, if you're suffering, listen, the world is suffering right now, right? I know people that are mentally as strong as hell that are in pretty bad spot right now. They've never dealt with depression, anxiety their whole life, and all of a sudden now they're dealing with depression, and anxiety because of what's going on. Basically, the frequency of the world is just at a high thing right now, and that energy is going to get to a lot of people. So, but don't give up. Everything will pass, right? You know what I mean? But at the same time, this is what I've said, and this is basically where my advice will be that if you're 50 pounds overweight and you want to get healthy, you're not going to go to McDonald's, right? So the same thing goes with mental health. If you're mentally unhealthy, whether it's anxiety or depression, doing the same thing you've done to get you to this anxiety and depression isn't going to get you out of it. You have to stop going to the proverbial McDonald's and start doing something different in your life. Again, it's that whole thing, right? That, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. You have to work hard. We don't think a second thought about going to the gym to try to get physically healthy, but yet we spend no time on our mental health, right?
Yeah.
And so we have to spend the same amount of time that we spend trying to get our physical body in shape as we do our mental health. And that means meditation, that means mindfulness, that means whatever you need to do to get to a mentally strong position. And Jay, my camera guy, who spends more time with me than anyone on the planet, he said that. He said, I've never seen anyone work harder at getting mentally healthy than you. And that was the thing. I worked diligent. I worked as hard as I was working on everything else in my life. I was working even harder on my mental health every single day, 7 days a week. And still to this day, like I said, even at 98%, you hit it on the nose. 98% ain't good enough, man. 100% or nothing. I mean, it will be 100%. And you have to have that, and listen, it takes time. You got to work on it, but don't give up, man. This season will pass. The anxiety will pass, the depression will pass, COVID will pass, and when all those things pass, we'll be on a better spot. And you just have to keep that belief, man. Like that's what got me through those dark days, man. Knowing that there were going to be days like today that I felt good.
Yeah, man, Jesus. Just the thing is, it's like It's just the knowing, the believing, bro. If you gotta have some sort of belief in you. It's if you are waking up every morning believing in something of what you're doing for whatever the fuck it is. You can hate your job too. It's okay to hate your job, but there needs to be a believing in something else. Like it's everyone hates their job. There's always a reason to hate something. Like, or I guess it's a bad word, but be pissed off or kind of be bugged out by something, and But you got to rise above all that, man, because listen, it could always be worse. It could always be worse, man. People don't understand, like, it could always be worse. Even for a bum or a homeless guy, it could even be worse for that person, which if you actually meet and speak to a homeless guy, they're the most humble people in the world. Like, they're fucking really, really nice people. Like, they're really nice.
Well,
and it's crazy.
MJ, MJ, it's like I said, I had a good friend of mine that battled cancer this year, right? And I was talking with her not long ago, and she put a lot of things in perspective, right? Like in 2019, her and my good friend, that's her husband, were, struggling for money, and they're worried about their kids, and they're worried about this, and their job, her job security that she had been at for 20 years was not very good, all this type of stuff. And you know what? Once she got diagnosed with cancer, do you think any of that fucking mattered? No, none of it mattered, because now all that mattered was getting healthy. And she's doing better, and I think she's going to be okay, thankfully, because I love her to death. But my point is that sometimes we have to put that into perspective, right? We think that things that are so desperately bad, like, oh my God, I didn't get that promotion, or I, my girlfriend left me, or this or that, you name the scenario. But the reality is that, and this is what I realized when I was in my health stage, is that here I have the most success I've ever had. You know what I mean? I have the most money, and I have the most success. I have everything is going great, and I couldn't enjoy 1 minute of it, not 1 minute of that success. And so I realized to myself, like none of that matters, man. None of the success, none of the business, none of that matters. All that matters is happiness and health, right? And there's a saying that says, a man spends his life creating wealth, and in his old age, he spends his wealth to gain his health. And you got to really think about that. I mean, your mental health, your physical health means everything. All the rest is bullshit. And that's what you have to do. Keep hope, keep happiness, and listen. No matter how bad it is for you, you can get better if you work on it. But you can't get better if you just sit back and think it's going to get better, because it's just going to get better. You have to work on it. You have to work hard on it, and you have to believe in it. And every day, whatever it is, little things like, I've got these wristbands, and I've got, like, I had some crystals, and stuff that I don't know if it fucking works. I have no idea, but it would give me something to look at and just in my mind go, okay, that's my reminder that I'm going to be okay, that there's going to be better days. And that's what you have to do, man. Whatever it takes, whatever it takes. And sometimes I tell my friends, sometimes it just takes 1 minute at a time. Sometimes you can't take a day at a time. You got to take a minute at a time, and then maybe 5 minutes from now it's better. Maybe a week from now it's better. It doesn't matter, but it will get better as long as you work on it. And we're in unprecedented times, but I'm telling you, it's going to get better, and it's going to get better. In 2021 may start shitty, but it's going to end with a fucking bang, man. And we're gonna be partying like never before, man.
Hoover Dam, here we come. We're going
Hoover Dam. I'm taking you to Hoover Dam next year.
Oh Lordy, go shopping with Lily. We're going to the Hoover Dam, motherfuckers.
We're going. Let's do it.
Oh my God, dude! Thank you, Brian, man. This is literally the best podcast I've ever done, hands down. And I'm just, that's not offense to any of the guests I've had on this by far. Which technically this doesn't count as our podcast. Still, we still need to bring you back on one-on-one. So
yeah, we're doing it, man. Let's do it. I'm getting there. Not feeling good. Let's do it. When you're ready, you let me know. All right.
Thanks, Doug. I love you, man. Thank you so much.
Right, love you too, man. You have a great holiday. All right.
You too, bro. See you later.
Thanks, bro. Take care.
Woo! Fuck! What the fuck? Jesus Christ! Wow. Damn it. That was such a fucking good episode. I've never been so locked in, and no, it wasn't because I was so high, but I've never been so locked in my life. You know what I mean? You have Ozzy, Justin, Brian. You know what I mean? 3 of the biggest fucking breeders in the world, bro. Man, good fucking times. Thank you again to Justin Cabelka. Thank you, Ozzy Boyds. Thank you, Brian Bartek. The guy has a fucking crazy day. The guy does not stop. I'm sure Ozzy's the same, and Justin's obviously they're all fucking they're all mules, dude. They all fucking work hard. But Brian, dude, if you have not seen this guy in action yet, go to the Reptarium, check him out. Michigan is now a place of vacation for me. I never thought I would tell Lily, hey, Lily, guess what? We're going to Michigan, you know, and it'd be exciting for 3 days. But yeah, Michigan, Reptarium, hanging out the bar checks, doing the most. Man, good. Man, I'm like kind of, I don't know. I'm not like shit. I don't know. Is it the coffee? I don't know. I'm just excited, man. Good shit. Thank you, everyone who tuned into this. This was fucking epic as hell. We're going to do the giveaway now. So give me like, I got to use the restroom. Like I got to use the restroom. So if you haven't already, go to the Snake Trap Sessions, not most recent post, but the post, you know, the actual giveaway post, drop a comment, fucking tag 3 people. You better subscribe to this channel because we're about to do the giveaway. I'm about to give away a pastel blade 100% het clown. Okay. So let's get it. Let's do it. All right. I'll be right back. Here we go. I know. Better chill. I'm back. Let's go. It's giveaway time. This is Trapsgiving. First annual Trapsgiving. You know what I mean? We ain't done yet. 3 giveaways, 3 winners, okay? We got the 3rd place stickers. Ship it to your pad. We have 2nd place, silver. Ain't nothing wrong with silver, because silver, you could win a Trap Talk with MJ podcast shirt, the official Fuck Bob Smith limited edition t-shirt, okay? And you'll win an actual fucking Exotics Cartel. These aren't even released, okay? Listen, you'll get one if you get one, but these aren't, you know, well, why are you so fucking stubborn with your I don't give a fuck. These just only go out to certain people. And it's going out to the 2nd place winner of the giveaway right now. So I'm going to draw 3 names. It's kind of weird. It gives me an Excel sheet. It's fucking, I really don't understand with this Instagram comment random thing, but I'm going to go ahead and do the first one. It's going to go ahead and spit out an Excel sheet. And I'm just going to read the top name of the Excel sheet, man. It's as simple as that. So hope you guys are ready because it's about to go down right now. Trapsgiving giveaway. This is going to be for the stickers. This is for free stickers, okay? You got to be up in the live chats because if you're not, I don't know what else to say. So here we go. I wish I could play some music, but I can't because I'll get monetized. Alf Morphs. Okay, Alf Morphs. ALP.morphs. Is there an Alf Morphs? Alf Morphs, you won these stickers. Alf Morphs, speak up. And you won these stickers. Make sure you hit me up on Instagram. Holler at me. You got 24 hours to claim your stickers. All right. That's Alf Morphs. That's ALP.morphs. So let me just write that down. So ALP.morphs. Okay. That's the 3rd place. 3rd place, Alf Morphs. I hope I said that right. All right. Now, 2nd place, silver. 2 t-shirts. Trap Talk with MJ. So Trap Talk podcast. Fuck Bob Smith edition. And super, super hard MJ Exotics Cartel brand shirt, red edition. with stickers. I'm gonna throw stickers in with it too. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. All right, new Excel sheets. Here we go. Genomic Labs. I know the homie. Genomic Labs. Okay. Genomic Labs. Oh, this is a terrible way to do this Excel sheet's stupid. Genomic Labs, the homie. Genomic Labs. Jason, what's up, doggy? That's actually one of my Patreon members. So shout out to you, dog. You got the silver award right there. You got 2 Trap Talk, where you got a Trap Talk shirt and an official fucking Exotics Cartel shirt. Okay. So congrats, doggy. Okay, here we go. Are you guys ready for this? Let me just go ahead and let me just show you what we're doing real quick. So this is the finale right here. Okay. So this is the chance, the offer to get, oops. Yep. Fuck it. Damn it. All right. I'm going to load it up. Here we go. I hope you guys are ready because I'm pretty fucking sure. No, I am sure, guys. Look, with all due respect, like I'm sketched out. I don't even know who the hell I'm going to do this. I don't even know who the hell I'm going to go like give this snake away to. And I pray to God, this is why it has to be someone in the comments. You have to be live right now if you win this. Okay. So pastel blade, 100% het clown. Okay. It's going to go down. All right. Let's see. All right. How do you say that? Mjexoticscartal? How the fuck do you spell that? Is that even a real account? Hold on. Let me make sure. I'm just making sure because I don't even know if this is a real account. Okay, hold on. So this is the winner right here. It looks real to me. Fuck. Is this person in the comments? Let's see. The winner of the pastel blade. God, this is so annoying. Give me 1 second. This is the last. Let me make sure he's. Oh, wait. Oh, fuck. He's in the comments. That's the winner right there. How the hell do you say your name, buddy? Can you please? But that's it. Mjexoticscartal. That's the winner, bro. Congratulations, dude. You fucking won a pastel blade 100% het clown. Yeah, good job. Congratulations. You do have to hit me up. Hit me up on Instagram and you got to show me that you can take care of the snake and shit and all that stuff. You do that, you're all good to go. I'll even pay for the shipping. Don't even trip, bro. But congratulations to Mjexoticscartal. I don't even know how the fuck you say that name, bro. But congratulations, you won a snake. If you go with a new exotics reptile name, I wouldn't go with that name because that's really hard to pronounce. But anyways, man, congratulations. Woof, that was a rough giveaway, but we did it, man. Congratulations. That's a wrap. 2020 Trapsgiving in the books, man. That was so much fun. Thank you so much, man. If you really enjoyed this episode and you're like me, man, this is a really cool podcast, subscribe to the channel. Do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, hit the dislike button, leave a comment, man. Drop me a comment, hit that notification bell. That way you're on top of every single trap podcast. I do these every Thursday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I drop trap clip Tuesdays on Tuesdays, every Tuesday. So make sure you be ready for that. And then guess what? I'm dropping another episode this Saturday. Yes, I'm going live this Saturday from the UK. Okay. I'm not flying to the UK. It would be sick, but I'm not. Okay. But I have a breeder of mine, fucking homie. No, it's not Gavin. Balls to you. Shout out to the homie Gavin, because that's a real heavy OG. But it's not Gavin. But it's somebody who's just as sick as Gavin. Somebody who's fucking heavy as fuck in the game. Does not play around with this shit, man. And I'm going to bring him to the table. So be on the lookout tomorrow. I think tomorrow I'm going to drop on who I'm going to bring on this Saturday. But 9 a.m. Okay, it's gonna be a morning session. Okay, so get up bright and early, man. 9 a.m. Get your coffee and let's do a little early trap session. Yeah, I want all my little all my early birds who like to smoke. All my wake and bakers, get it. I want all my wake and bakers in the building. That's gonna be amazing. Just tune in with us. It's gonna be sick. And again, congratulations to Titacion or whatever the fuck his name is, but he won. Congratulations. That female is gonna be a heater, man. And yeah, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week on Trap Talk with MJ. I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful Thanksgiving. Hug your family. Be thankful for what you have. As you guys can see, being thankful is what gets you really far in life, man. Just be thankful. I'm thankful for all you guys. I'm thankful for every guest I have on. I'm thankful for my wife. I'm thankful for the air I breathe. Just thankful for so much, man. You guys have a good night. Shout out to all my Patreon members. I saw all my Patreon members in the house. Fuck with all you guys, man. If you guys want to support this channel further than a subscription, join my Patreon page, man. I'm telling you, we got some sick shit going on. We just had Trap University Session 1 with Khalil 514 Reptiles. Put us on game. I'm telling you, put us on game. And I know, and my Patreon members know, come be a part of the family. Come fuck with us.